We'll call the Ways and Means Committee meeting of January 12th to order. My name is Brooke Harris. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Fanton.
Here.
Mrs. Burdick.
Here.
Mr. Curran. Mr. Demick.
Here.
Mr. Havey.
Here.
Mr. Ricky.
Here.
Mrs. Root.
Here.
Mr. Stockin. Here. 8 present, 1 absent.
Thank you, ma'am. Seeking approval of the minutes from the December 27th meeting, I'd entertain a motion. Thank you, Ms. Root. Seconded by Mr. Ricky. Any comments, corrections, or additions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Seeking approval of the audit of January 12th. Thank you for the motion, Mr. Havey, seconded by Mr. Ricky. I thought since it was the first Ways and Means Committee of the year with some new board members, we'd ask Treasurer Terry Ross to talk us through what the heck we're looking at, please.
Good afternoon. The sheet that you have in front of you, the long sheet that has some calculations on it, represents the bills that have come forward within the last 2 weeks that need to be paid after your approval today by each of those cost centers or departments. The 4-digit number represents the cost center in the budget where the departments have budgeted those expenses. And this is just a general description of the account, and then that's the dollar value. As you go to the right-hand side of the form, you'll see general fund total, which Brenda will read these as you get through the meeting for the totals that we're going to pay. But general fund total, and then we add in the payroll for the last 2 weeks to come up to to help come up with the total of the money we're going to send out the door after today's meeting. But so then our payroll shows up, and then we detail the capital fund expenses so that you can see what projects have had bills come forward in the last 2 weeks. And then the other funds are, as you know, we have 9 funds in our budgets, and the other funds are listed with the employment and training, the community development block grant. We spoke about that this morning. That's where you'd see if there's any payments going out for that. The risk and retention insurance is our liability insurance. Our medical insurance is the insurance payments for our employees. County road is all the expenses that go into county road through your budget. Road machinery, same thing. Self-insurance is your workers' comp fund. So then that comes up with the total for the audit of $3.2 million. Prior to this coming to this format, reports are sent to the county administrator as county auditor, and she reveals all the bills that are on this sheet and puts her approval on them before we get to this point. And Sarah Decker in Brenda's office prepares this report. Does anyone have any questions or anything? I'm certainly happy to answer any.
Terry, if a legislator is looking over this audit and has a question about any specific amount or line item, who best to contact? You in your office, the department head under which the bill is coming in?
Well, if you contact me, I'll have the combined report for the entire audit, so it's easy for me to flip through it and find out what bills were paid under each section. Then if you had any other detailed questions, you could probably go to the department if you wanted any specifics. But we have all the copies of the invoices and everything in our office. The department inputs them in a batch, and then they're rolled up to the department head for approval, and then they're rolled up to our office to be able to prepare the entire audit. So that's how that works, but we do have all the detail if anyone has any questions. And I do have that report with me when we go over and approve the audit. So usually if someone has a question, I might be able to look it up quick to tell you what it is.
And oftentimes it's just a matter of, sometimes a big bill just comes through, so a line item that normally doesn't have much in the way of expenses, all of a sudden it might be a 6-figure expense that just comes and goes, right?
Correct. The timing of the audits and when things are paid throughout the year does vary, so you'll see something that jumps up. And during the summer, the highway accounts absolutely jump up because that's when their building season is. I will also note that on the back side of this page is some information about our weekly shares report for Medicaid. So that is always listed on the back, and we keep a running total of what's been paid for the year about our weekly shares payments for the Medicaid services that we provide here in the county.
Okay, thanks for covering. Any other questions on that? Ms. Burdick?
Brooke, I don't know if I asked this here or in the regular meeting, but I just had a question about the tax sale and redemption, the 77,000 there. We haven't done a tax sale, correct?
Correct. That 77,000 is the payment that we made for the searches that were reviewed, because we have been doing work towards the tax foreclosure. So we've done the searches and we've sent them to our attorney who does that. And that's for their review and their services. You're welcome.
Terry, we're still planning on doing a Budget 101 at some point in the near future too, right?
Yes, we will. We just need to discuss what day that is, and I will have some things ready for budget next week. A couple spreadsheets that I think will be helpful to the new board members and the old board members, some updates on some statistics, and then we can go from there for the Budget 101 for the new legislators.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
If there's nothing else, all those in favor of approving the audit, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Carissa Knapp, County Administrator, has some items for us. First on my list is Cdbg and Grant.
So this is a community development block grant that we have applied for, and this is asking for a resolution to accept and budget this grant. It's for mobile home replacement, and as you see, it benefits eligible county residents, including elderly, disabled, and veterans. So this is something we've done every year for the last couple of years, and this is implemented through Cattaraugus County Action. So they are our subrecipient that helps monitor this program and run it for us.
Thank you. Motion, please. Mr. Fanton, thank you. Seconded by Ms. Burdick. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is accepted. Next, I see County Attorney's Office.
Thank you. So this one is a request for a resolution to appoint a new county attorney. The prior board, along with the new board members here, interviewed candidates in December for county attorney, and a selection has been made of Allison Caro. She's currently working in Chautauqua County and will be ready to start January 31st. So I'm asking for a resolution that will appoint her effective that date, and also amend our Section 4 salary schedule to reflect her annual salary of $114,000.
Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion for that? Thank you, Mr. Ricky. Seconded by Mr. Havey. Any discussion? I'll get you. Want to take the opportunity to thank Mr. Minor for pinch hitting for probably a little bit longer than he expected, but the board certainly appreciates your efforts. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
So are you ready for my next request?
I am.
I seem to have three in a row here. So my last one is approval of an agreement with Afscme, and this is one of our collective bargaining agreements. We have a collective bargaining team. Mr. Ricky is your legislative representative on that team. We were negotiating last year through December, reached an MOU. Afscme approved that this past Friday. So this is a 5-year agreement. It'll run from January 1st, 2022, so it is retroactive back to January 1 of this year through December 31st, 2026.
Okay, can we get a motion for discussion, please? Thank you, Mr. Ricky. Second. Thank you, Ms. Burdick. Can you give us a little bit more of the particulars, please?
Well, one of the more important particulars is what their annual raises will be. It is a 2.5% increase for each of those years, so 2.5% each year for 5 years. We did do some other items in there. We did change the health insurance. New members after 2023 will pay 25% of the premium equivalent for health insurance. We also changed the buyout on health insurance, raised that to incentivize people to look at other insurance programs. We made a number of language changes to be consistent with our other contracts, and eliminated a double time for most members going forward.
How many members are in that union?
I believe it's roughly 200, 220.
Anyone have any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
I am asking that this come off the floor today, as well, as this is retroactive to January 1st. We're still in the first pay period. It would be very convenient for payroll just to make that change within that first pay period.
Makes sense, thanks. Okay, referrals from committees. Public Works, Mr. Fanton.
Superintendent of Public Works Justin Henry is requesting approval to fill one full-time heavy motor equipment operator and all subsequent positions, including from the outside. The HMEO is responsible for the maintenance and operation of specialized heavy motor equipment necessary for the county's highway department. The annual salary is estimated between $37,000 and $45,000, with benefits estimated to be between $14,000 and $17,000. Position is funded 100% with county funds, and it's included in the budget, and I will move it.
Thank you. And a second, please. Thank you, Mr. Demick. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Superintendent of Public Works Justin Henry is requesting a resolution for a budget adjustment with supplemental agreement number 2 with the New York State Department of Transportation for the replacement of bridge bin number 2255160, Madison Street over Western New York and PA Railroad, Village of Wellsville. These funds cover the costs of construction, inspection, and phase funding. The following adjustments shall be made to the 2022 budget to appropriate the federal, state, and town aid. The county share has been previously appropriated, but will be reduced by $18,432 for this project, for a total county share of $92,990. Transfer to be moved to the equipment capital, and the budget adjustments as listed. I'll move it.
Thank you. And a second, please. Mr. Demick, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sheriff Rick Whitney is requesting a resolution to accept and appropriate the 2020, FY 2020 statewide interoperable communications grant as follows, and that is $723,865, and the monies will be used to upgrade the 911 communications systems, and I will move that.
Thank you, Mr. Havey. Anyone like to second that? Ms. Burdick, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 2, Sheriff Whitney is requesting approval to fill one full-time accountant, PEF bargaining unit, grade 7 step base, in the sheriff's office due to a resignation. The annual salary is expected to be $47,194.42, with benefits estimated to be $18,438.86. This position is 100% funded by county funds and is included in the 2022 budget, and I will move that.
Thank you. A second, please. Ms. Burdick, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
And the last one. Sheriff Rick Whitney is requesting to fill one full-time corrections officer, local council 82 bargaining unit, grade 55 step base. The annual salary is estimated to be $46,941.02, with benefits estimated to be $18,339.86. This position is funded 100% by county funds, and it is included in the 2022 budget, and I will move that.
Thank you. A second, please. Ms. Root, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Human Services, Ms. Burdick?
Community Service Director Robert Anderson is requesting a resolution to reallocate the 2020 Community Service Mental Health funding as follows. The funds have been reallocated by the State Office of Mental Health from the 2020 fiscal year. These monies were not allocated or spent in 2020, and OMH has now authorized $76,802 as additional funding for Allegheny County. They have approved the expenses as listed below and would like the amounts accepted and budgeted in the 2020 budget as follows, and which is listed on your sheet, and I will move that.
Thank you. A second, please. Thank you, Mr. Havy. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Social Services Commissioner Edna Kays is requesting approval to fill one full-time caseworker, Afscme bargaining unit, grade 16, step base to 7, and any resulting backfills. This position is responsible for ensuring the safety, health, and welfare of children, families, and adults. The annual salary is estimated between $41,000 to $51,000, with benefits estimated between $16,000 and $20,000. This position is funded with 35.57% county funds, 21.89% state funds, and 42.54% federal funds, and as is included in the 22 budget. And I will move that.
Thank you. Second, please. Mr. Fanton. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Social Services Commissioner Edna Kays is requesting a resolution to accept and appropriate the New York State Safe Harbor funding of $43,350. This grant was originally awarded to the County Division for Youth, but as a result of a state decision, it is transitioning from the Youth Bureau to the Department of Social Services for the 2022 fiscal year. The budget adjustment is requested as follows, and it's a $43,350, and I will move that.
Thank you. And a second, please. Thank you, Ms. Root. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Approved. Any further referrals from committees? If not, any old business? Any new business?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Havy?
there will be a caucus at 1:25.
Thank you. Any other new business? Anything for the good of the order?
Chairman Harris, I would have something for the good of the order.
Madam Treasurer?
Recently, the final rule was placed for the AARP money, or the ARPA money, excuse me, and it really benefits the towns and villages. It released the restriction on revenue replacement, and I sent out the letter to all the towns and villages, and I can certainly send a copy to all of you so that you know what that final rule said. But in short, it says the most significant change to the guidance is in regards to the lost revenue provision. Under the interim final rule, if the recipient were to use the lost revenue provision, the recipient was required to calculate the lost revenue number. In short, now they've said that the final rule has provided an option to calculate the lost revenue or simply select a standard allowance, which is $10 million. Under the final rule, all recipients are now eligible to use the standard allowance and have lost revenue to report if they choose. So it really is beneficial to the towns and villages, and it released the way that they should spend their money, and they don't have as many restrictions on it. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I will email it to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Burdick, does that mean you'll be taking the deduction, or did the town of Alfred lose more than $10 million?
Well, that's my question, is do you have to somehow prove that you lost that money? Because we don't think we lost anything, and I think probably most of the towns didn't.
And I believe that's why the final rule had this adjustment in it, because most towns and villages did not, they did not suffer the COVID expenses that other municipalities did, and I believe that's why the federal government opened that up.
And I'd like to thank you on behalf of all the towns and villages for sending that information.
You're welcome.
And that was that it also added that you could use it for road maintenance and construction, right?
Yeah, and I don't think I have that language with me, but it did open it up to be used for road reconstruction. I think that was in my original note to the towns and villages from NISAC when they sent it, or from the auditors when they sent it to me. It said that it did open it up for road construction.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, it's right here. Actually, I found it. It says, by selecting the standard allowance, you can use your ARPA award for providing governmental services up to the lesser of your total award or $10 million. Government services broaden the use of the funds and even includes maintenance of roads. There are still some exceptions, and they were in that letter.
Thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? Mr. Rumfeld, would you like to make a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry. Bummer. We'll have to find somebody else.
So,
Mr. Ricky, thank you.
second.
Mr. Avey, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
You could have done it anyways, Jim. What-
Yeah, you can do it.